Now, something we haven't talked about on air yet, and you and I haven't actually talked about that much before either, is that I co-founded a company called Nebula that automates recruitment. And what we're trying to do differently, and hopefully hopefully allows people to be kind of more human with their applications as opposed to trying to just get the right skills on there, which is that instead of doing keyword based matching or skills based matching, we use large language models to encode the meaning of the information on a job description or on a candidate's profile. And so, uh, for our data science listeners out there, we encode them in a vector space, and so you have this high dimensional space that represents the meaning of these job application or resume related documents. And so it means that our system could think that our matching algorithm could think that you are the perfect fit for a role, even if there's literally no words that overlap between your resume and the job description that you're applying to. So I'm kind of like, it's my vision for the future that instead of just trying to game these ATSs, that you can just you can be authentic, you can be creative with your language, you can be funny, you can be cool, and that these AI systems like ours, at least, and hopefully more that we see in the future in these kinds of ATS systems and these kinds of recruiting pipelines are, yeah, more clever than just looking for the right keywords.
Well, I think you've sort of hit the nail on the head there. And yes, we haven't had a lot of time to talk about Nebula, but that's exactly what I'm talking about. It's the next step from the cookie cutter, way to do things. There's this next deeper level, and even beyond that, there's going to be a deeper level. When I was talking to um, folks at SpaceX and Tesla and some of those types of employers, each one of the internal talent acquisition teams said, it's not enough that we see your resume. We need more. We need, a GitHub link. We need a personal website link. We need something to assess you beyond your resume. And so if they're requiring it, that it's going to be a trickle down effect eventually to most all employers.
Yeah, lots of opportunity to be. Yeah, I guess this is something maybe kind of a general thing, whether you're listening to this episode for career tips or anything, in terms of opportunities to be making a big impact with AI in your organization or as a startup. This idea of where can I be using things like large language models, not as generative AI, but as encoding AI to take natural language and convert it into a high dimensional vector and allow much more clever search or discovery over documents. And this can be done in any industry and offers huge improvements over trying to do keyword based matching. All right. So, Deepali, we've talked now about the technologies themselves, but what about the kinds of people that are needed to bring these technologies into the marketplace effectively? So, what kind of leadership style and attitude towards technology is required for strategic leaders in AI, in data, in analytics? You advise a lot of these kinds of companies. What kind of leadership style or attitude is required in order to use AI effectively and actually make a difference, as opposed to just trying to to find a nail for a hammer.
hmm hmm So this is where I think there's a huge opportunity for, your audience, right? These data science leaders, team members. If you are trying to level up on your leadership skills and communicate with stakeholders up, down, and across, the most, I guess, uh, the most important soft skills that you can have is the way that you articulate, educate, and communicate about your specific expertise or industry or tool or whatever it is. Someone just told me that when you have a technology person, but they can actually sell or have a commercial DNA, that is unicorn status. And I think most technology people need to remember that. I think the way that you articulate a story, all of you are in the data. Tell the story about the data, right? Tell a layman like myself, right? I only speak data at a surface level, right? You guys are much smarter than me at any given day and twice on Sunday. But I traverse in the talent landscape of seeing sort of the beauty in which you guys are working with data, telling your story to clients that are interested in implementing this. So think about the things that I want you to tell me. But, spoon feeding me that information helps you get to that next level. So I always think about your why, your communication, your ability to articulate, your ability to manage and educate, your stakeholders is the way that you're going to get the seat at the table. So, those are those the green flags that were in that article were around, point blank communication skills.
Nice. Yeah, those are all great tips. And we actually hear that a lot on the show from people doing hiring, communication skills, interpersonal skills. These are some of the most in demand characteristics amongst technological people. And so definitely something that's worth brushing up on. Yeah.
I would say one more thing. I
Mm,
think, so I've been at this for a while, and when I originally started in the industry, I was recruiting a lot of quants, right? And so when you think about quants, you think about PhDs, super linear thinkers, like everything has to be 100%. It can't be 80/20. Like it's that type of mindset. What was happening where quants hit a wall and a lot of these, hedge funds and other organizations where they started hitting a wall and they started bringing in sort of, C-suite leadership to make the fund grow. It's because they didn't have that commercial DNA, what I'm talking about, because they saw things very linearly. And so for folks that are you don't have to be in finance, or you can be in any given industry, you can be in retail, you can be in anything consumer driven, but if you can see the business outcome to which your job is relevant for, right? And being able to see that and then reverse engineer into what you're doing and why it's important and what outcome it's going to be for that business, that is the way that you are going to get noticed and picked up on, right? And like I said, the data storytelling, that's where you will get ahead in these organizations. And that's what they want.